Title 21 Advanced Democratic Values. Advanced Democratic Values address non-democratic countries and Enhanced Democratic Act of 2007, 22 United States Code 8210 note, and 22 U.S. Standard Code 8220 note, and sections 2101 and 2102. 2102, short title. The title may be cited in Advanced Democratic Values addresses non-democratic countries, Enhanced Democratic Act of 2007, or Advanced Democratic Act of 2007, Section 2102, finding congressional findings of the following: 1. The United States Declaration of Independence, the United States Constitution, the United Nations, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights declare that all human beings are created equal, possess certain rights and freedoms, including fundamental rights to participate in political life and government of their respective countries. 2. The development of democracy continues the long-term change of the goals, changes that goes through unique phases and places in individual countries, and such countries develop democratic institutions, such thriving civil society, free media, and independent judiciary must be led by within such country, including non-governmental and governmental reformers. 3. Individual non-governmental organization movements that support democratic principles, practice values, and under increasing pressure for some governments and non-democratic countries, as well as in some cases governments of democratic transition countries, including the use of administration regulatory mechanisms undermining the activities such as individual organization movements. Democratic countries have a number of instruments involving support of democratic reforms who are committed in promoting effective nonviolent changes of democratic countries who are committed to keeping their countries on the path of democracy. 5. The United States efforts to promote democracy, protect the human rights, and strengthen to improve the assistance for the such reform, including the enhanced roles for United States and diplomats properly trained, given the right incentives. 6. The promotion of democracy requires a broad base of efforts of cooperation between all democratic countries, including the Community of Democracy. Section 2103, Statement of Policy. In the United States, 1. The promote federal democracy in foreign countries, a fundamental component of the United States foreign policy, alone with other key foreign policy goals. 2. Affirm fundamental freedoms and international recognized human rights in foreign countries, the reflective Universal Declaration of Human Rights, International Covenant of Civil Political Rights, condemned offenses against the freedom of rights and fundamental components of the United States foreign policies, along with the foreign key policies. 3. The political promote fundamental freedoms and rights, including the freedoms of association and expression of the press, religion, and its right to its own private property. Commit the long-term challenge to promoting universal democracy, promoting democratic institutions, including institutions support of the role of law, such as independent judiciary or independent professional media, strong leisure, thriving civil liberties, transportation, and professional independent governmental audience agency, and civil control military institution to promote civil minorities and women. 5. Instrument of the United States influence to support, promote, strengthen democratic principle practices, values, including the right to free, fair of the operation and opening elections, secret balloting, universal suffrage, and including by A, providing appropriate support individuals, non-governmental organization movement, and located non-democratic countries that aspire to live in freedom, establish full democracy in such countries. B, provide political, economical, other support foreign countries, individual, non-governmental organization movements of willing or undertaking transmission of democracy. 6. The strength of cooperation democratic countries in order to better promote defending shared values and ideals. Section 2104, definitions. In this title, an annual report of advance of freedom and democracy. The term annual report of advanced freedom of democracy refers to the annual report submitted to Congress by the Department of State pursuant to Section 665C of the Foreign Relationship Authorization Act, official year 2003, Public Law 107-228, 22 United States Code 2151 note, in which the Department reports on the action of the United States government to encourage the respect of human rights and democracy. 2. Appropriate congressional committees. The term appropriate congressional committees means the Committee of Foreign Affairs, the House of Representatives, the Committee of Home and of Foreign Relations of the Senate. Assistant Secretary. The Assistant Secretary means the Assistant Secretary of State of Democracy, Human Rights, and Labor. 4. The Community of Democracy and Community. The terms community and democracy and community Community means the association of democratic communities, democratic countries committed to the global promotion of democratic principles, practices, values, in which held in first ministerial conferences in Warsaw, Poland, in June 20th. Department. The term department means Department of State. 6 non-democratical countries and democratic transition countries. The term non-democratic country, non-democratic country, transition country shall include all countries that is not government by full functionally democratic form of government is determined in the Secretary taking the account of general consensus regarding the status of civil and political rights in the country. Major non-government organizational conducted assessment such conditions in countries, whether a country exhibits a full characteristics. All citizens such country have a right to and are not restricted in practice from or fully free participation in political life of such a country. B. The national legislative body of such a country is directly elected head of the government of such country are chosen in free, fair, and open and periodic elections by universal equal suffrage and by secret ballot. C. More than one political or such of the country candidates who seek elected office at the national level, such as parties, not restricted to political activities other than process for selecting candidates, except for the reasonable administrative requirements commonly applied in the countries categorized as a form fully democratic. D. All citizens in such countries that have a right to are not restricted to participate in from and fully exercising fundamental freedoms of the expression and conscience, peaceful assembly, association such as country has freedom, free, independently pluralistic media. The current government of such a country did not come to the manner contrary to the rule of law. F. Such country possesses independent judiciary. Government of such country generally respects the rule of law. G. Such country's vote does not violate cost principles enshrined in the United Nations Charter, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, of the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights, the United Nations Commission of Human Rights Resolution of 1499-57 entitled Promotion of the Rights of Democracy in the United Nations of General Assembly Resolution 5596 entitled Promoting Consolidating Democracy. H. An applicable whether the country has scored variable of the political, civil liberties, or corruption, and rule of law indicators of determine eligible financial assistance disbursed by Millennium Challenge of Account. 7. Secretary. The Secretary means Secretary of State. Subtitle A. Activities enhance promotion of democracy. Section 2111. Democracy promotion demonstration of state. 22 United States Code 88211. Democracy liaison officers. In general, the Secretary of State shall establish the staff democracy liaison officer position. Democracy liaison officer shall, under the supervision of Assistant Secretary, democracy liaison officer shall be assigned for the following position: A. In the United States Mission. 2. Or liaison regional multi-lateral organizational, including the United States Mission, the European Union, African Union, Organization of the United States, and appropriate general organization secretary, cooperative in the Europe, the United Nations, and its relevant special agencies, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, Regional Public Diplomacy Center, the Department of State. C. The United States Combatant Commands. D. Other posts designated Secretary. 2. Responsible each to democracy liaison officers. 2. To provide expertise of effective appropriate approaches to promote the bill, the proclamation, assist in formulating implementation strategy, transitions to democracy. C. To carry out its responsibilities, Secretary, Assistant Secretary may assign new position to the fullest extent practicable, taking consideration amounts appropriated to carry out the fully section personnel available. The assignment to the positions described in paragraph 1 is the democracy liaison officer position established under subsection A shall new position additional to existing position responsibility for human rights, democracy related issues and programs, including position with responsibility for labor's relationships of authority. Nothing in subsection construed to alternating the authority, responsibility, chief and musician, and or other employee of a diplomatic mission of the United States, provided any other provision of law, including authority, responsibility of development, implementation of strategies, or promoting a democracy. B. Office related to the democratic movement of transitions that one established There shall be identified with the Bureau of Democracy, Human Rights, Labor of Department at least one office that should responsibly for the working of democracy movements, facilitating transitions in fully democracy of non-democratic countries and democratic transition countries. 2. Responsibility: the Assistant Secretary shall include the action through Office of Additional Pursuant Paragraph 1A provide a democratic liaison officer established under subsection A. Develop relationship with which consult provided non-governmental individual movements that are committed to the peaceful promotion of democracy, fundamental rights of freedom and information, including fostering relationship with the United States government, the government of the United States countries. C. The assist officers employ regional bureaus of the Department of Developing Strategies, programs to promote peaceful change of non-dramatical countries, dramatic transition countries. 3. Liaison: the Bureau of Democracy, Human Rights, Labor, and Assistant Secretary shall identify officers or employees who have expertise in or shall respond for the working of a non-governmental organization or individual movement, develop relationships, consult with, and provide assistance to non-governmental organization, individuals, movements of foreign countries, and committed into the peaceful promotion of democracy, fundamental rights and freedoms. Actions: chief missions: each chief of mission in each non-democratic country and democratic transition country. 1. Development of an annual program planning strategy. Promote democratic principles, practices, values in such foreign countries that provide such support. Appropriate non-governmental organization, individual movements to such each country are committed to democratic principles, practices, and values such as by A. Consult in coordination with providing such non-governmental organization individual movements regarding the promotion of democracy. B. Issuing public consideration violation of international recognized human laws, including violation of religious freedom, visiting local landmarks, others local associated non-violent protests in support of democracy, freedom of oppression. C. Periodic meetings, non-governmental mental organization, individual movements of discuss democracy, political, social, economical freedoms. 2. Holding on discussion leaders of each such non-democratic country, democratic transition country regarding progress toward democratic system of governance, of development of political, social, economical freedoms, respect of human rights, including freedom of religion, belief in such country, and conduct meetings of civil society interviews with media directly reach citizens of each such country, decision with students and young people of each such country regarding progress toward democratic system of governance and development, political, social, economical freedoms in the country. D. The recruitment: the Secretary shall seek increase the proportion of members of the foreign services who serve in the Bureau of Democracy, Human Rights, and Labor. C. Authorization: appropriation and authorized to be appropriated security such sums as may be necessary to carry out in Section 212 Democracy Fellowship Program, 22 United States Code 8212. The requirement for the program: the Secretary shall establish the Democracy Fellowship Program to enable the Department to gain additional perspective of democracy promotion in foreign countries and working democracy, issue appropriate congressional offices and congressional committees with oversight over the subject matter of the title, including the Committee of Foreign Affairs, Committee of Appropriations of the House of Representatives, Committee of Foreign Relationships, and the Committee of Appropriations of the Senate, international or non-governmental organization involved in democracy of promotion. Selection and placement: assistant secretary shall central role in selection democracy fellows and facilitate placement in appropriate congressional office, congressional committee, international organizational, non-government organization. Section 2313 investigation violation international humanitarian law. 1A. In general, the President shall assist with the Secretary under state of Secretary Democracy or Global Affairs Ambassador at large war crime issues shall collect information regarding incidents that constitute crimes against humanity, genocide, slavery, other violations of international humanitarian law. B. Accountability: the President should consider the actions taken to the government, country, the leader, senior officials such government are responsible for the crimes against humanity, genocide, slavery, other violations of international humanitarian law identified under Section A and brought to the account of such crimes appropriate constitutionally tribunal. Subtitle B. Strategies Report on Human Rights and Promotions of Democracy. Section 2121 Strategies Priorities Annual Report. A. Expansion of country-specific strategies to promote democracy. Condemnation. Congress condemns the Secretary of ongoing work of the Department to develop a country-specific strategies of promoting democracy. Two, expansions. The Secretary shall expand development in such strategies of non-democratic countries as democratic transition countries. Three, briefings. The Secretary shall keep the appropriate congressional committees fully and currently informed in such strategies are developed. B, in report subsection report title section 665 of the Foreign Relationship Authorization Act of the official year 2003, Public Law 107-2822, United States Code 2151 note, and is amended the first sentence by inserting entitled an annual report advancing freedom of democracy before the period of the ending. An enhanced report, the annual report advancing freedom of democracy shall include as an appropriate 1. United States priorities, promotion, democratic protection, human rights in each non-democratic country, in democratic transition companies, democratic transition countries develop consultation within revelation parties in such countries. 2. Specific actions, activity, chiefs of missions other than United States officials to promote democracy, protection, and human rights in each such country. D. Scheduled submission section 665 of the Foreign Relationship Authorization Act, official year of 2003, Public Law 107-228, 22 United States Code 2151 note, is amended in the second sentence by striking 30 days and inserting 90 days. 22 United States Code 8222, Section 2122, translation of human rights reports. In general, and Secretary shall continue expanding in timely translation of applicable parts of the country reports human rights practices required under Section 116D and 502B of the Foreign Assistance Act of 1961, 22 United States Code 2151, ND 2304, annual report, international religious freedom are required under Section 102B, International Religious Freedom of 1998, 22 United States Code 641 B, the Trafficking Person Report required for Section 110B, the Trafficking Victim Protection Act of 2000, 22 United States Code Section 107B report, and separate report of democracy, human rights policy submitted in accordance with Section 665 of the Foreign Relationship Authorization Act of the official year 2003, Public Law 107-2028, 222, United States Code 2151 note, and the principal language in many countries possible with particular emphasis in non-democratic countries, democratic transition countries that extrajudicial killings and torture other than serious violation of human rights have occurred. Reports 1. Requirement no later than 1 for April 1st, 2008 annual through 2010. Secretary shall submit appropriate congressional committees reporting describing transition reports that provide subsection A in the preceding year, including the such reports have been translated in principal languages of countries in which translation had been distributed, posted and relatively website and elsewhere. 2. Reform whether report required in the paragraph 1 by including any support report democracy of inhuman rights submitted in accordance with Section 665C of the Foreign Relationship Authorization for the fiscal year 2003. Subtitle C, Advisory Committee of Democracy Promotion, Internet Website and Department of State. Section 2131, Advisory Committee of Democracy Promotion, 22 United States Code 8231. Congress amends the Secretary creating an advisory committee democracy promotion of the sense of Congress, the committee that should play a significant role in department transformational diplomacy and advancing the Secretary regarding United States efforts to promote democracy, democratic transition in connection with the formulation and implementation of the United States of the policy, foreign assistance, and including review and making recommendations. 1. And how to improve capacity to Department of Promoting Democracy and Human Relations, how to improve foreign assistance program related to program democracy. Section 2132, 1. Sense of congressional regarding internet website of the Department of State, 22 United States Code 8232. It is a sense of congressional that the facility assesses the individual non-governmental organization movements of foreign countries into documents, streaming, video, audio, and other media regarding democratic principles, practices, values, promotion, strengthening democracy. Secretary should take additional steps to enhancing internet site global democracy, human rights department, which should include in the practical following: 1. Narrative histories, published by the United States government significant democratic movements of the foreign country, particularly regarding sufficient nonviolent campaigns promote democracy, non-democratic countries, democratic transition countries. Two narratives published in the United States government relating to the importance, establishment, relationship, international recognized human rights, democratic principle, practices, values, and other fundamental freedoms. Three manager human rights reports, United States government, including transition to such materials as appropriate for any documentation, reference and likes, appropriate external internet websites such as websites, international non-government organizations, including references, links, and training materials, narratives, histories regarding successful democratic movements. Subtitle D, Training Democracy, Human Rights, Incentives, Section 2141, Training Democracy, Promotion, and Protection of Human Rights, 22 United States Code 82441, 121 Stat 534, 534, Public Law 11053, August 3rd, 2004, Section 2141, Training the Democracy, Promotion, and Protection of the Human Rights. A. In general, the Secretary shall continue enhanced training the members of foreign services, civil services, responsive promotion, democracy, protection, home rights. Such training shall include appropriate instructions and training materials regarding one international document, United States policy regarding promotion, democracy, respect of human rights. Two, United States policy regarding promotional strengthening democracy around the world with particular emphasis on transition for democracy, non-dramatic countries, democratic transition countries. Three, for any member of chief musician, deputy chief of a mission who is assigned for the non-democratic transition countries, ways to promote democracy in such country, to assist individual non-governmental organization movements in countries that support democratic principles, practices, and values. For the protection international recognized human rights, including protection of religious freedom, standings related to such rights, provisional United States law related to such rights, to diplomatic tools to promote respect and such respect, and the protection of individuals who fled from countries due to the violation of such rights. B. Consulation. The Secretary, acting as the Director of Non-Foreign Affairs of Training Fair Center of the Foreign Service Institute Department, shall consult appropriate non-governmental organization involved in protection and promotion such rights United States Commission on International Religious Freedom with the respective trainings required in subsection C. No later than 100 days after the date of enactment, the Secretary shall submit appropriate congressional committees of reporting containing description of the current plan training providing foreign service officers, human rights, democracy promotion, including training providing chief missions serving, preparing to serve non-democratic Congress, democratic countries, and democratic transition countries. 22 United States Code 82242, 2142 Sense of Congress regarding advanced democracy award. In Sense of Congress, the Secretary further strengthen the capacity to demonstrate carry out the result of democracy promotion efforts of establishment and annual award to be known outstanding achievements brand. Advancing democratic awards. Advanced democratic award would be awarded for other officers and employees of the department. And two, the Secretary shall establish a procedure selecting recipients of such awarded, including the financial terms associated with such awards. 2143 Personnel Policy, Department of State. 22 United States Code 8243. In addition, with the awards and incentives award for the implemented Secretary should increase incentives members of the Foreign Services, other employees, and documented department with tasks take assignments relating to promotional democracy, protection of human rights, including the following: one, providing performance may under Section 405 Foreign Service Action of 1980, 22 United States Code 3965, such members and employees who carry out the assignment of the outstanding manners. And two, the consideration on assignment basis of promotion senior foreign services. Three, the providing foreign service awards through 614 Foreign Service Act of 1980, 22 United States Code 4013, such members employees to provide any distinguished material services of promotion, democracy, or protection of human rights. Subtitle E, Cooperation in Democratic Countries, Section 2151, Cooperation with Democratic Countries. A, in sense of Congress. In sense of Congress, that the United States should cooperate with the democratic countries. 1, promote and protect democratic principles, practices, and values. 2, promote and protect shared political, social, economical freedoms, including freedom of association, expression, possess, religion, to own property, private property. 3, promote, protect, respect for all. And 4, develop and adapt, pursue strategies to advance common interest, international organization, multilateral institution with members of a cooperation democratic countries belong. And 5, provide political, economical, necessary supplies to countries and undergoing transition democracy. B, continue unity and democracy. 1, sense of Congress. In the sense of Congress is the more formal mechanism for carrying out work between the ministerial and meetings, as well as the creation of permanent secretariat with appropriate staff to carry out such work, and establish headquarters not democratic countries to participate. Any associating group of democratic countries aim to work together to promote democracy. 2, detail personnel. The secretary authorized detailed non-reimbursement base of employed department to any secretariat of the community of democracy of the government of any country that is a member of conveying group of community of democracy. C, establishing office of military democracy promotion. The secretary should establish an office of military democracy promotion within the mission of further development and string institution structure of communication democracy, develop instrumental projects enhancing the United States democracy, caucus management of policy development, United Nations democracy funds, enhance coordination with the regional multilateral bodies, jurisdiction, democracy issues. D, the International Center of Democracy Transitions. 1, the sense of Congress. The sense of Congress that the International Center of the Democracy Transition initiates the government of Hungary service as to move as practical project sharing the best practices. The area from democratic promotion should be supported, particularly in the United States and the European countries experience democratic transition, private individuals. 2, authorization appropriations. Authorized to appropriate $1 million for each fiscal year of 2008, 2009, 2010 for the security for the grant for the International Center of Democratic Transition. Amounts have been appropriated for the under paragraph, authorized to remain available until expected. Subtitle F, funding and promotion of democracy. Subtitle 22, United States Code 82161, Section 2161, United Nations Democracy Fund. Sense of Congress. Sense of Congress that the United States shall work together or should work with other countries to enhance the goals of work in the United Nations Democracy Fund as an essential promotion of democracy as practical support civil liberties, foreign countries in efforts to consolidate democracy, bringing a transformational changing. B, the authorized appropriation, and they authorized to be appropriated at $14 million for each fiscal year of 2008 and 2009. The Secretary of the United States contribution of the United States National Democracy Fund. 22, United States Code 8262, Section 2162, United States Democracy Assistance Program. Sense of Congress regarding the use of instruments of democracy promotion. In the sense of Congress, 1, the United States support democracy, strengthen the use of variety of definition instrumentals such as National Endowment of Democracy, United States Agency International Development Department. 2, the purpose of Department of Human Rights and Democracy shall be supported in initiative program media materials designed to uphold democracy principles, practices, values, support, strengthening democratic institution, promoting human rights, rules of law, build civil societies, countries, and around the world. To be sense of Congress regarding mechanisms delivering assistances. Findings, congressional findings following A, democracy assistance has mainly different forms, including assistance to promote the rule of law, building capacity, civil society, political parties, legislative, and improved independency of media and judiciary, enhancement, independent audience functioning, advanced security sector reform. B, the need for greater clarity and coordination delivery mechanism of the United States democracy assistance. 2, the sense of Congress. And the sense of Congress, the Secretary Administrating the United States Agency of International Development should develop guidelines consistent with the appropriate congressional committees, building an existing framework for grants, cooperative agreements, grants, and acquisition mechanisms, guides in the United States mission to foreign and the country's coordination of the United States democracy assistance, selecting an appropriate combination of mechanism for such assistance. 22, inoperable emergency communications.